Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Recovery in the raw. How y'all doing, y'all? 90-day sobriety challenge. Day 9. Day 9 is the day, I guess I'll tell my story today. How I started smoking crack. Okay, so I grew up, I'm from Arkansas. I'm from Warren, Arkansas. I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And everything was cool, good. Had a nice life. My parents, my mother and my family, everybody used to get together and drink on the weekends, have parties. You know, you didn't think of it nothing. I remember my auntie used to sneak me brandy when I was little. You know, I should say, hey, you want some soda? I get it, it'd be spiked. You know, we thought it was all fun and games back then. But at the age of like 15, 16, hanging with my older cousins, I wanted to drink like they was drinking. I became an alcoholic young, like 15, 16, 17. I thought it used to be cool at 17 to walk around with a bottle of Corbel in my back pocket like alcoholics do. Thought it was, I don't know what I was thinking back then. But I grew up selling dope. I grew up selling crack. It got bad when I found out my mother was using it. When I found out she was using it, I really started hustling hard and just kind of giving up on life, not lost in life. The only person I had in my life was my two cousins, Randy and Ted. My two older cousins, and I learned everything I know really from them. And man, I can't lie and say that I didn't like it, but you know, it was money, because we grew up kind of poor. So you know, finally I can go to school and pull money out of my pocket, like big wads of money. It felt kind of cool. I ain't have to catch the bus to school. I was getting rides, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, it played its part. But as my cousin, he was like my mentor, my idol. He was my everything. My cousin Ted, he went to prison. And while he was in prison, I ended up getting shot when I was 19. So, you know, I was still trying to sell dope and do all this stuff, smoke weed and all this acid. And I started doing a whole bunch of drugs, man. And acid became my favorite, really, LSD. And what happened was, while my cousin was locked up, I got shot. I got shot in the neck, right here. And the bullet came out my mouth. That's when my teeth gone. And that's my tongue. As far as my tongue go out, they had to cut the tip of my tongue off. Jaw got wired, all that stuff. But I remember my cousin got out of prison, and you know, he had a new connect. And it was like 350 for half, 500 for a zip. And man, with them prices, you couldn't beat it back then. And so I had a connect. I'm getting a lot of dope, but I'm still yet depressed about this gunshot. When I got out, my whole face was fat. All this was just swollen, and I got depressed about it. You know what I mean? Like, I thought my face was gonna stay like that forever. And I remember my cousin came by, and he asked me. He said, "Did I have anything?" I said, "Yeah." This is a different cousin. Rest in peace, Charles. But he came by and he asked me if he could smoke it in the closet so my mama couldn't see real fast. I said, "Go ahead. I don't care." So as he was coming out the closet, you know, I asked him. I said, "Hey, what did that do?" And he was like, "Oh, no, I ain't telling you. You ain't finna get started on this. The way he was acting made me want to try it even more. So when he left, I rigged up a crack pipe. You know, I had been in dope houses and stuff, so I knew what a crack pipe looked like. I had never used it, but I done watched plenty of dope fiends get high. So I tried it, and I ended up liking it. It made me feel like a quick acid hit. It felt like I was on acid, but real fast. But wasn't no laughing. It was like a different world, you know, and it's like I kept trying it to feel that zone again. Like, where the hell am I? It's like walking into a different world for me at that time. And I kept trying it. It got worse and worse and worse. And every time it came time to get more dope to re-up, you know, my cousin was noticing that I only had the same money we put in the first time. So if I got a half ounce for $3.50, when it comes time to go get more dope, I only got $3.50 again. Now getting a half ounce for $3.50, I should have had at least $1,200, $1,300, but I only got $3.50. So it's time, I'm hiding it that I'm smoking dope. I remember my mama went to work, and my stepdaddy, her husband was there, and he came back in the room and he was like, "I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing." I said, "What?" He's like, "I know you smoking dope. I know you smoking dope." He said, "Give me some of it," because he smoked crack too. So instead of him, trying to tell me don't smoke crack, you don't need to be doing that, he was bribing me not to tell my mama to get high. So then, after he saw me smoke it, he was smoking back there with me. He was teaching me how to do it. Oh, you're holding it wrong. Oh, turn it this way. Put your choy like this, and how to cook it in. He taught me. That dude taught me everything I know now about smoking dope. It's like I had a crash course on smoking dope, and I was higher than ever. Didn't nobody, like all my friends and all that, I was 19 years old. Back then, don't no 19-year-olds smoke no crack. You know what I mean? So it was like all my friends didn't know. I'm hiding from everybody. I'm scared to go anywhere. I don't want people to know I get high. So I had to go through that. And the point that hurt me the most was when my cousin found out. Like, it hurt me more when my cousin found out than when my mama found out. My mama found out I was cool. I knew she smoked dope. But when my cousin found out, he was like my hero, my mentor, man, and that hurt me. He called me over to my buddy Rico's house. He said, "Hey man, we're having a meeting, man. Come over here." And when we got there, I remember he took he said, "Bring the rest of the money and the dope you got with you." So I bought it, and they took it from me. It was like, "You done, man. You ain't hustling no more, man. We know you smoking dope." And not only was he there, my friend Rico, rest in peace, Rico was there too. I think Will was there too. Rico, Will, Ted, Caesar, they all there, and these my best friends and my mentor. These the dudes I looked up to my whole life, and don't none of them smoke crack. You know what I mean? So then at the time, man, it hurt. That hurt it. I think that's where I lost. I think that's my point in my life where I lost it at. I didn't give a fuck about nothing in life no more. I was so hurt. I cried all the way back home, man. But what could I do? I got this new addiction, so I started just getting higher and higher and higher, and that's when all the misery and the drama and all the things came. I was doing stuff people some of my best friends, the closest people to me, don't know some of the things I done did to get dope. I'm talking about robbing dope dealers with broken pistols, robbing dope dealers with BB guns and knives, like just to get high. I ain't gonna lie, the first time I was scared as hell. I'm running up. I had never robbed nobody before that, you know what I mean? But I knew I wanted to get high. You know what I mean? So I'm basically doing what I've seen in movies, to go lay a nigga down or just put a pistol up to somebody or put a knife to him and, hey man, you know what I mean? Or physically drag him down. Like I'm finna kill him, cut him, or you know what I mean? And this situations where things really got grimy. And that's where my addiction took me. But it started after I got shot. And not having no teeth right here at that age, and then starting to smoke crack too. You know what I mean? So a lot of people thought my teeth was missing from smoking crack. That all just kept me in this state of depression for years. So that started my journey of back and forth to prison, back to this day. I done did 12 years. I done did 4.5 in Wisconsin, 4.5 in Oklahoma. And then the rest is all county jail time. Been in and out the county, in and out the county, in and out the county. But I did 4.5 years for a robbery in Oklahoma. The same thing. Like I traveled with a carnival all around America smoking dope. And now I look back on this, man, and does it have shame, regret, and all that? Somewhere in there it does, but I can say something to today, and that's why I can't, ain't no way in hell I will put this on YouTube and let everybody see this if I was who I was back in the days. I'd be so ashamed, but right now, I know that my change is what covered that walk. Me changing right now covers that. Don't nothing mean. All that what I did, do, and in the past and all that means nothing compared to what I'm doing now. And what I'm doing now is miraculous. To me, it's miraculous. It's God got his hand all over me. His hand is all over me because I've tried so many times to do what I'm doing right now and failed. It wasn't until this last case, I'll tell you what happened with I had a bottle of Knob Creek. This stuff worse than Everclear. This stuff is 120 proof. I woke up in jail with a guard saying, Williams, here go your tray. Here go your halal tray. And I said, Miss K, what am I there for? She said, hold on, I'll write your charges down. She went and wrote my charges down and brought me back on a piece of paper. She said, here, you have 8 new charges. I was like, 8 new charges? I was like, wow. So I woke up in the county jail with 8 new charges and don't remember none of it. None of it. You know, like, there's bits and pieces after reading the criminal complaint, it started coming back to me. But at that point in time, I had not remembered none of it. I didn't know why I was in jail, how I got to jail, none of it. That was my breaking point, I think. Knowing that I could be headed back to prison. I had did some of the dumbest stuff ever. I even took a meth charge for some meth that wasn't mine. So I got sentenced to probation for that. And then caught this while I was sentenced to probation, before I got sentenced to probation. So I was in jail for both of them. So that was my wake-up point. That was my wake-up point. It was a time I was getting ready to make salat. I was getting ready to pray. I called the Zan, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Call my Zan, I laid my little rug down, get ready to do my salat. And I said, hey, why don't I do some supplicatory prayers, some extra prayers, you know what I mean? I said, I'm in beast mode, because I started working out again. It's like something snapped in me, like, man, you know what? This is it, man. Just prepare yourself for when you get out. But then it's a voice in my head kicked in and said, it ain't about what you doing here. It's about what you do when you get out. And that's what started recovery in the raw, going so hard like this, you know? But I'm gonna make a part 2 to this. I'm out here in the bus coming. So, salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Stay tuned for part 2 of this. My story, how I started smoking crack.